So in this video, I'm going to give you some basic tips on how to manage your letters in Applied Relay. So to begin with, we're just going to look at a client portfolio here in the name of Paul O'Hanlon. And Paul has got a quote recently for prior motor policy. So in terms of the letters that are available in Applied Relay, some brokers may be using our stock letters that we've given you when we set you up. You may be using your own letters, or it actually might be a mix of the two. In terms of the letters that are available in Applied Relay normally, we would be looking at one-page letters, such as client letters or insurer type letters. And then we'll be looking at packs. And in that case, we'll be looking at maybe print packs, which would be designed to print out on header paper, or email packs that would be designed to generate with your header and footer entailed. Just in this example here, let's just start off with something very basic. You can see here we've got this client here, Paul, and we just want to generate a basic client letter. So how do we do that? So if I just select the policy line here, or the quote line, and click the letter button at the base, and what that does is it brings you into the location where all of your letters are stored. Now, in terms of the folders that you see, they will vary depending on your brokerage. But in terms of the main folders that I would expect to see, you can see here I have a client folder, an insurer folder, and these are the packs that I referred to earlier. So the print pack and maybe an email pack. If I want to just generate a basic client letter, I'm just going to click client folder, and you can see here I have my one-page letters, and I can just go to pick this basic one here. So this blank client letter that allow me to add in my own text to it after I generate it. So I'm just going to double click on it. Now when you're generating your letters in Relay, you can generally index them at client level or policy level. We would normally recommend policy level, so that when you're trying to find documents later, either through the documents tab or combined view, it'd just be a lot easier to find them. So I'm just going to leave it on policy. Blank client letter. At this stage, I can wipe that if I wish and rename it. So it might be easier to find the letter if you have renamed it at this stage. And then edit document before printing. So that's normally what we would recommend, so that you have the chance to edit it. Create diary entry. If you don't want a diary to be raised, just untick this and press OK. So you can see now the system has generated a very basic client letter. Have his name and address and dates and things like that. So this particular letter just has basic text in it, but obviously I can add to this and then save it. And if I cancel it then, so that would then be stored in the documents tab, and I could either print that off or I can drag and drop it into an email. So if you want to make any changes to your letters permanently, you would need to actually access the templates. So if I click on my folder icon here and go to the following location, or Relay, Data and Letters. So all brokers can find their letters in that particular location. So or Relay, Data, Letters. For cloud brokers, you just want to click on the apps folder and then mine down into it. So Relay, Data, Letters. So this is the client folder I was looking at a moment ago. So if I double click on it, and you can see here all of the one-page letters are available. So if I want to make any changes to these permanently, all I need to do is just open them up at this stage. So when you actually open up a template, you might see some merge codes, or RBS includes, or if statements. So it's these features that allow the system to pull in relevant information into the letters, and or extra documentation. So when you open up the template, you can see things like merge codes, or RBS includes, which basically instructs the letter to pull in additional documents, or you might see some if statements. So it's these features that allow the system to pull in relevant information and documents when you generate the letter. If you just want to amend the text itself, just the simple English that's in the letter, all you have to do is literally just wipe over it or add in your own extra text into the letter. And then when you're happy, just click save. So that'll actually save changes to the template permanently. And then when you generate the letter going forward in Relay, you'll see the changes you've made. So in terms of changing things in the letters, it's relatively straightforward. Please note though, if you are making changes to letters, you might note that there is these RBS include and Z documents. So these are basically sub-documents that you'll find in the folder packs. So you can see here in this particular pack to client, I have these 4 Z documents. So header, footer, intro and signature. So the idea here is if you make a change to your header and footer, you don't need to go to each individual letter and make the change. If you just change the Z document, then that'll have a knock-on effect, and when you generate the letter, you'll see your updated header or footer when you generate the letter next time. So a common scenario is you might want to update your terms of business. So in that particular case, you would go to your folder, just open up the Z document that has your terms of business, and maybe just copy and paste in your new terms of business and save it, and that'll have a knock-on effect to all of your terms of business. So let's move on now and have a look at some print packs and see how they work. So you can see here, this is currently a quote for Paul. So I'm just going to go ahead and post a premium, a new business premium. So I have filled in all the details. I'm just going to press OK. So you can see now a debit is raised up on the system for $5.50. So the next thing we want to do here is maybe generate a confirmation of cover pack, or a new business pack for Paul. So at the base of the screen here, you do have options here, letter and invoice. Now the letter is generally what we would recommend for one-page letters, and also the quote packs. So if you are using the Relay stock letters for quote packs, we would recommend just generating the letter using the letter button. However, if you want to actually pull in the figures that you've posted, you need to use the invoice button, okay? So the letter button won't pull in the premium details that you have posted. So if you want to pull in the figures, you would generally use the invoice button. Now, if I actually just click on the invoice button in this scenario, you can see it gives me a transaction screen. This is the premium I have just posted a moment ago. And if I actually scroll across here to the right, you can see here it's automatically picking up the print pack confirmation of cover motor, which in this case is correct. So why is the system giving me the correct letter? Well, the reason is we have letter mapping that's available in Applied Relay. So if I actually go to System and Maintain Letter Mapping, you'll be able to set up your own mapping rules yourself. So these are basically letter rules that can be added into the system. So after you've posted a particular premium for a particular policy type, you can tell the system what letter you might want. So you can actually see here in my system, I have a variety of transaction types or premium posting types, followed by policy types, and then the letters that I want. So just as an example there, just to show you, if I click Add, you can see transaction type is new business, but if I click on the drop down here, there's other options. So you basically need to tell the system, if I post a new business premium or renewal premium or provisional or whatever it is, this is what I want you to give me. So new business, M1 would be motor if I was doing motor. You can mine down further to department and client type if you wish, but normally we would just be selecting the first two here. And then if I select document, print pack, and then confirmation of cover motor, and pressing OK, and then that rule will then be saved. So it's simply a case of repeating that process for all the different premium postings or transaction types that you might post on Relay, and then just filling in the product type followed by the letter pack you want. So we know the confirmation of cover pack is already set up here. So if I just click invoice, as I said, there it is. However, please note there is a change letter button there, change letter. So if for some particular reason the mapping was wrong, or just in that particular scenario, maybe you just wanted an invoice on its own, so you didn't want the full pack, then you're able to click change letter and just select the document that you do want in that case. Press OK, and the pack will generate. Please note when you use the invoice button, the document that you're producing will normally associate at account level, but we would normally recommend just changing that to policy, so that it's indexed at policy level, which is what you would want. Again, the description will obviously be the name of the pack, but you can change that if you wish. So if you wanted to personalize that a little bit more with the client's name, you can. Edit document before printing, which is normally what we would set it as. And then the diary, again, that can be switched on and off. So if you do want, if that is ticked for you and you prefer it off, you just contact our support team, we can switch it off for you. Press OK. So you can see the pack has been generated. And again, most of our packs would consist of a cover page, summary of cover, an invoice document, statement of suitability, and terms of business. As was the case with the client letters, you're able to make changes here and add in extra information, and then you click Save Changes. And again, that will just save that particular letter. So in the Documents tab, there's the pack that we've generated. If I right click and view, then I can see that it'll open up along with the extra bullet point that I just added in. That just saves that particular letter. If you want to change the pack itself permanently, you would need to go back into the location of the letters. So apps or drive and relay data letters, that's where you'll find them all. And if I go into print pack and confirmation of cover, that's basically the template itself. So if I want to make changes, I'd have to open it up. Again, just scroll down to whatever section you're not happy with. Maybe it's a spacing issue, or maybe you want to add in some additional information. So you can see here, these are examples of the merge codes that are built into them. So if you do want to add in additional information, if you just contact us at support@appliedsystems.com, we can email you a copy of our merge code list. So the merge code list is fairly extensive. A lot of our general letter packs, they wouldn't have everything that you might want or need. So if you make contact with us, we can send you the list. Remember again, if you want to make changes to your Z documents, there's no point in making changes here in the templates. What you need to actually do is just come out of the template itself and scroll down, and you'll see all your Z documents or sub documents at the base here. So if you make a change to these Z documents, they automatically have a knock-on effect to all the other letters. So really the idea about them is they're designed to help speed up making changes to the letters rather than you kind of tediously have to open every single one and make a change. So in that example there, we have generated a basic client letter for Paul, and we've generated a print pack. Now what we can do is just receipt the money, and it'll generate a receipt. And now in the documents tab, we'll have a cash receipt to go along with the print pack and the basic client letter to be generated. So if you wish to generate your own letters, that's simple enough to do. So if we go back into the location of the letter, so apps relay data letters, and normally what I would recommend you do is if you want to generate like just a basic one-page letter yourself, if we go into the client folder here and select blank client letter. So what I want to do here is just make a copy of this. I don't want to override this particular letter because this is your standard template letter. So I don't want to corrupt this or add in wording to it that I don't want. So if I just select it, and again, if this is for cloud brokers, if you just go to copy and just choose location and just save a copy of this to the same location. So or relay data letters and clients and copy, and you can see now I have a copy of that letter. For non-cloud brokers, surely you can just right click and copy and paste it. So now what I can do is I can rename this. So again, for cloud brokers, just click rename and new client letter, or obviously call it specifically what it is. And then if you just double click on it, the template will open up, and then you have this whole section here where you can just add in your own wording or whatever you want to say in this particular letter. And then click Save Changes and come out of it. And now you have your own new client letter that you've generated or whatever you've called it. In terms of making new packs, the same principles apply. What I would do is kind of just select a pack that is as close as the one you want to generate. And again, just copy, paste it, rename it, and then make the changes and save it. As I mentioned earlier, a common change you might want to make in your packs is the terms of business. So you can see here, just as an example here, I have terms of business at the base here. So if I wanted to make changes here, I could just double click and open this document and delete the terms of business that are there and just paste in my new terms of business. And that would have a knock-on effect to the packs. So to summarize then, brokers have the ability to make changes to their letters. It's just a matter of going into the or relay data letters locations to manage them. In terms of the two buttons here, we would recommend the letter button for standard one-page letters or quote packs. And then for any packs where you want to pull in the information, such as obviously the total due. And then the invoice button is what we recommend if you've posted a transaction or a premium on the system and you want to pull in the figures. So generally for invoice, we're talking about confirmation of cover, provisional renewal, confirmation of renewal, or maybe just a straightforward invoice you want to generate. When you click on it, the system can give you the correct letter, but it's important that you have set up the mapping rules in system and maintain letter mapping. For modifications, just go to the location where the letters are stored, find the location of your letter, open it up, make the change, and then save it. And then the template will include any changes you've just made. If you'd like a copy of our merge code list, please contact support@appliedsystems.com requesting same. That concludes this video on letter management in Applied Relay.